Hi, so in this video, what we're going to look at is some statistics and how to calculate based on statistics. Okay? So there's two different things we're going to look at, one of which is called average and one of which is called spread. And this is all to do with how the whole set of data, which could be anything from class test results to if you're an athlete and you were measuring how fast you were running over a long period of time, statistics can be applied to many, many things. So the average, if we read through this, is a measure of where the centre of the data lies. So if you're wanting to find out roughly where in the data is the middle, we want to find the average. But within that, there is three types of average that we're going to look at today. One of which is called the mean, one of which is called the median, and one of which is called the mode. This is a lot to remember all at once, but you can always come back to this video to remind you, and you'll get so used to doing them that you'll start to remember them quicker. There's different reasons you would have to use the different measures of average. What we'll eventually find out is that some of them are better than others, but we still need to understand where they all come from. The first one we're going to look at is mean, and the way we calculate the mean of a set of data is we calculate the sum of all pieces of data and divide it by the number of pieces of data. So in short, we add up all the bits of data and divide it by the number that there are. The median is the middle term when the data is arranged lowest to highest. So firstly, you need to make sure the data is in numerical order, and then you need to find where the middle term is. The mode is simply the most common term in the data. That one's the easiest to find, though there is some extra bits about it which can make it more tricky. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is the spread of a data, and that's how spread out the data is. And we can calculate the range, which is a measure of spread, by just simply taking the highest term in the data and subtracting the lowest term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the mean, median, mode and range for these sets of data, example 1 to example 4. But first I'll just go through example 1. So here I've done example 1. So when I calculated the mean, I did 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8 because that is each of the individual sets of data. And there is 5 sets of data, so I divided it all by 5. Give me 25 divided by 5, which is just 5. When it came to the median, I find the middle term. They are already in numerical order, so the middle term is simply going to be right in the middle. So you can see I've circled the 4. On the left hand side of that, there's 2 sets of data, and on the right hand side of that, there's 2 bits of data. So that means the 4 is right in the middle of the data. The mode is really easy. You just see that there's the most common term is 3, and then the last thing is the range. The highest term is 8, the lowest term is 3, 8 minus 3 is 5. There's a few extra things about example 2 that I'm going to do. So I'll just go through this one. So you can see I did the exact same thing for the mean. I just added them all up and then I divided by 6. This time I'm dividing by 6 because there were 6 terms and it came out as a decimal, but that's fine. Then if we look at the median, now we've got a problem here. There is no middle term. 9, 10, 10 gives us 3 terms. 11, 12, 16 gives us 3 terms. So what we're going to do, where have I got 10.5 from? So it is the middle of the middle 2 terms. So if you end up with a situation where you're not able to see what the middle term is, it is halfway between the 2 terms either side. So we can see that the middle term is going to be halfway between 10 and 11, and halfway between 10 and 11 is 10.5. Again, mode is straightforward. You just write it down, it's there, it's 10, and then the range is 16 minus 9. Okay? So if we look at example 3, hopefully the first thing you can notice is that they are not in numerical order. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I can calculate the mean, median, mode, and range. So there, hopefully what you can see is that I first of all put them in numerical order. So we've got 10, 9, 11, 3 and 2, and then I put them into 2, 3, 9, 10, 11. So they're now in numerical order. For the mean, I did 2 plus 3 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11, which gave me 35 divided by 5 is 7. So the mean is 7. Now that I put them in numerical order, the median is straightforward to see. It's just 9. The one extra thing here is that there is no most common term. There's one instance of each term there, so there is no mode in this set of data. And lastly, the range is 11 minus 2, which gives me 9. Now, last one should be straightforward. And so the last one there, firstly I put them into numerical order, so I ended up with 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8. Add them all up and I divide that by 6, giving me 15.6666, which then rounds to 1 decimal place is 15.7. Tricky thing with the median here is, again, we've got no clear middle term. You can see that there's 2 5s right in the middle of the set of data, and if you find the middle point between 5 and 5, it's just 5. So in this case, as much as there's no middle term, well, 5, it actually turns out to be 5 because the 2 terms on either side of the middle are both 5. You can see there that there's 3 versions of the mode. So sorry, the mode is 5 because there's 3 bits of 5. And lastly, range is 8 minus 4, which gives us 4. So that's how we can calculate the mean, median, mode, and the range.